Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is the Stock Market Analysis Weekend Edition, Weekend Update, and Trade Ideas. So we've got two things going on. We're going to take a look at the market, and in the second half of the video, we're going to look at trade ideas, a review of trade ideas from last week that we got in, some we exited, and a couple of new ideas for the coming week next Monday. Okay, we start off here. The Dow Industrials bounced up 28.7 points yesterday, and who knows? There's a little bit of a relief rally. It's interesting when you look at the bars here, look at the candles. You get this sell-off, and buying came in on Thursday, and it closed in the upper half of the bar. So I thought that was kind of interesting because, you had this pretty good downdraft back on Tuesday, I guess it was Tuesday. And then this inside up bar, and then this sell off, and then the rally back. And then we've got this little bit of an inside bar in here. And it's almost kind of like a doji. It's not a true doji, not like, this bar, maybe this bar kind of thing, but it's a small, tight little bar in here. And it closed right at the 10. We still don't have the 10 breaking down. We'll see. I still think we got a couple more days that we'll know. The post I had on Wednesday night, I said I thought that in 5 trading days we're going to have, we're going to know what's going on. And I do think we got a pretty good chance of that happening. So we will see. I mean, if we look at the end of what happened at the end of wave 3 here, and at the end of wave 1, you got this 2 little bounces like I mentioned last time, and then the sell-off, 2 little bounces in the sell-off. Now we got 1 bounce down, a little bit more of a inside bounce, so it's not the same, and we're just going to have to see, do we break to new highs, breaking up here, or do we continue to sell off? So that's where we're watching closely. Got a lot of stocks in there. Let's go ahead and get to the S&P 500. Similar type thing. Let me blow it up a little bit. And then you could see on Thursday the rally back on this bar in here. But again, we didn't break the high of Thursday. We still had this little bit of an inside bar. So that wasn't extremely bullish in terms of the activity, in my opinion, on Friday. The next one we're going to look at is the New York Composite. Here it is. New York Composite is a little more bearish in terms of the activity coming down, although this is kind of a doji, an inside doji. These are closing below the 10 these last 2 days. The 10 is approaching the 21. It looks like it wants to roll over, but it hasn't. I mean, it did the same kind of thing here, but didn't. It didn't roll over. Started to in here, but then you didn't break down below. So I mean, we've got the short-term trend line in here was broken on Thursday. So that's a little bit of a weakness that's showing up. But again, we're not getting substantial breakdown yet. So, I mean, you can't sit back and say, hey, we're definitely going down. I mean, we just got to keep monitoring this thing on a daily basis. And the Russell 2000, where is, oh, again, it's right. It's like it knows where I'm going. Okay, now the Russell is a lot weaker. They had this this big move down here on this Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So these 3-day sequence in here, pretty hard down, and now we've got the 10 below the 21. So it'll be interesting to see. We may get a little bit of a pullback up into here, or if we continue down, this is going to pull this 10 down below for sure. And again, you got to watch these crosses. Sometimes you get faked out when the move is still fairly strongly bullish in here. Sometimes you get little crosses that don't do anything, and then other times you get where it crosses here and then it just trends for a while, for a couple of months actually. So we just got to watch to see how this plays out. And I do think this is the kind of move I'm looking to see, if it pulls back up here to the 10, touches the 10 again. Sometimes what it'll do is it'll do this like pullback. It'll cross, it'll pull back up, and then it'll drop right back down again. And this is actually pretty doggone good timing to trade. When you got this 10 below the 21, you pull back above it and you exit or go short or buy puts on the break of the low of that bar, of the high bar. A lot of times that'll work out to be a pretty good trade. And we're going to take a look at that here on some of the stocks, because I'm seeing some of that start to set up. Okay, let's take a look at some indicators. Short-term trading index. Wow, right in the middle again. No signal. No extreme. And the VIX, CBOE, Market Volatility Index. Okay, the 10's crossing. It crossed here, but the interesting thing is we are now crossing after getting divergence. RSI is above 50. DI plus is above DI minus. So it looks like the VIX is trying to move higher, and of course a higher VIX usually means a lower market. Let's see, the next one we're going to take a look at is the high-low index. And we're getting a little bit of an ABC, kind of little consolidation pause in here. We got that downdraft that happened with the 7th and 8th. Actually, it came off of this high on the 1st and into the 8th, which was Tuesday. And now we've just got a little pause. So we haven't done anything we've gone sideways. But, I thought this was kind of interesting that we broke this trend line from mid-May on the high-low index. Okay, that's it on the indicators. Let's take a look at some of the ETF, our key ETFs. Like to look at the semiconductors first, and these guys still have not broken down. I mean, they're right in here. They're not even trading below the 10 at all. I think we're getting a little bit of divergence showing up on all three indicators that I've got. And usually when you get it on all three, that's usually a pretty positive signal. That's something I would not be surprised to see this start to break down and then tops out. But you need to get a close below the 10. You need to get it starting to round over and get the 10 crossing that 21. These things haven't happened yet, but that's what we're going to be looking for. The home builders, on the other hand, has really smashed down over the last week. And, this looked like a little rising wedge to me. So we had this downdraft that started in here. Now, this is interesting. Okay, so this is the home builders index. And you know how much the home builders, home industry affects our economy. Okay, and so then what is this? January, February, March. Okay, so, we're looking at here. So January, February, March. Okay, so all of this is when the first quarter GDP went in the tank. Okay, and we had our strongest down trend. I can't remember the exact statistics. It was the strongest in 7 years, I think, or something like that. It caught a lot of people off guard, and I know everybody's pointing to January, oh, big snowstorms, blizzards, blah, 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 all the consumers not getting out. It's really going to tell the tale if all of a sudden when we get the second quarter GDP, and I was going to look at that and forgot to look to see when that first indication estimate of it's supposed to be out. Probably fairly soon, I would think. So, but here we got housing, heading down. Strong. So I'm just kind of, it's making me wonder what's going on with the economy. Are we going to get a reinforcement of the reading from first quarter, or are we going to, get a bounce back? I think a lot of economists and everybody are saying we're going to get a bounce back. We'll see. Okay, so that's home builders. Take a look at the financial. Where's the financial? Here we go. Financial ETF. This, again, I still think is a little bit of a sideways action, although it, went down with the market. The 10's down in here, very close to the 21. Looks like it's trying to cross and hasn't done it yet. So that's what we'll be watching to see if we get a breakdown out of this little consolidation area. Okay, now we can take a look at some stocks. We're going to look at, we're going to start off, look at YOKU. We got out of YOKU on the 7th. We had been in it, we had calls, and I think I had taken half profits back in here, and the second half we got stopped out on Monday with this close below the low of the last 2 days. Okay, that was my trailing stop, trying to stay in, see if it'd run. We're out on Monday. Okay, Melco Crown, same thing happened to us. Okay, we got out on Monday, yet near the close on the second half of the options, and made a profit, nice profit on both sides of the leg. And so that was a nice profitable trade. And again, these results are on for June, and because the trades were started in June, and so I always keep them tracked and tied back into the month they were started. All the June trades have now been closed out, and that summary is on the past trade ideas page on the website. ctrip.com. Okay, again, we got stopped out, and I think it was on this, 7-8, and we ended up break even on the second half. We made a profit on the first half, and unfortunately we didn't make a profit on the second half. But I stopped myself out when the bid on the options got to my initial purchase price. Okay, when it got to that, I said, okay, I'm done. I'm not taking a loss on the second half. And then Facebook on Monday, we got in Facebook on the 7th, right near the close, I believe, and we're still in it. We're getting hurt a little bit. Not too bad, but you know, this is pulled back more than I thought. We do have the 10 crossing below the 21 in here. So we're gonna have to watch this. I've got to stop back up in here. I think it's around 68, and we'll see how this trades on Monday. But I would not be surprised to see this thing, you know, just come right back down. It might trade up to the trend line that broke, you know, kind of a little bit of pullback, and then turn back down. If you are not in this at this yet, a break of the low of this day, of Friday's low, 64.79, say at 64.78, might be a good entry point for puts on Facebook. And First Solar. Okay, First Solar is another one. We got in on Monday, and we exited the very next day because it hit my initial target, and the 10 hadn't crossed the 21 yet. And because it made the downdraft move so quickly, I exited all the puts when it hit my initial target, and so I was fine with that. We made a nice little profit, and now we're watching. We've got this cross of the trend line. I'm going to be looking to see if we get a pullback and a little bit of trading back up in here to the 10 or above, and it might be a good place to get puts again. So I'm going to be watching that. Solarcity. Solarcity, what was this? We entered on the 8th, like within 2 minutes of the day. It hit the initial target, bought the puts, and then it continued to downdraft so hard that it actually got to my initial target within an hour, because this was all the solar stocks were getting killed that day. And so again, because it happened so quickly, because the 10 was still above a rising 21, I said, okay, you're going to hand me that kind of profit that quickly. I'm out on all of it. I didn't, you know, normally I might take half, but again, I sold the entire position in an hour. So that was a nice trade, nice profit. So of those three, we're still in Facebook. Okay, now we're taking a look at Green Mountain Coffee. I've had on the Trade Ideas webpage, I've had an entry point down in here, slightly below 120, I believe. The specifics are on the Trade Ideas webpage. And it hasn't gotten filled the last 3 days. I'm still holding. Well, let me take a look at this for a minute. Let me see where this closed on Friday. I wanted to take a look. 123.08 is the 10-day. Okay, so it's slightly below the 10 still. I'm staying with my entry point on this. We'll see if we can get a fill with puts on Monday. And the next one, and UA, which is Under Armour, I've got that out there. I'm going to be canceling that entry. I don't feel quite as good about it on after Friday's trading, so we didn't get an entry with puts on Friday, so that's going to be canceled. And so QIHU 360, I'm looking to buy puts. We got a 10 crossing below the 21. Looking to buy puts on Monday morning, probably on the break. I'll have to look and put the specifics on trade ideas. Probably the break of this low, Friday's low, and see if we can't get a little bit of a run in here. It's broken this trend line. It broke it on Tuesday, and I wouldn't be surprised at a minimum that it tries to test this prior low, which is down here at 75. And this thing doesn't take very long to move at all on stuff. At the average true range is 3.8 points in a day. So you can see it just doesn't, it moves pretty quick. I mean, look at the high here, 99.57, almost 100. And the low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days later of 84. So 16 points in like 6 days. So this thing can move, and right now I'm a little bearish on it, so we'll watch to see if we get a fill on that. Also, I just want to mention that there is like, I already talked about First Solar, but I'm looking at like G-Log, Goldman Sachs, JKS, Tableau Software, Diamond Offshore, FireEye, Pandora, Workday. All of these have got the 10 crossing below the 20, and I'm going to be monitoring and watching this. So we're starting to get some crossing of the trend lines of the moving averages. We could be starting to see some further breakdown in here. So that's what we're watching. Okay, that's it for today. So we had the trade ideas, and we had the market update. We'll be back on Monday night with a market update and anything new on trade ideas after the first day of trading there. So thanks again for watching this market analysis video. If you found that it helped you in any way, please share it by clicking on one of the social media icons and tell one of your friends about it. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. All you have to do is fill in the little form on the right, first name and email. It's very simple. And then you get access to the Trade Ideas webpage. You can download the 5 Essentials PDF document, which talks about some of the great reads that you should be reading, at least according to Paul Tudor Jones, which he's not too shabby of a person to be making a recommendation anyway. And for those of you who don't know who Paul Tudor Jones are, just Google him and you'll find out. So anyway, remember, trading is more than bars on the chart. So until next time, stay focused, follow your plan, and trade without fears. From Joe with Beyond the Chart, have a great weekend.